Hey, so the dream interpretation has been crazy, absolutely crazy. And oh, last week's vlog, I definitely scheduled that on time, and then I go to like just to check on it, and YouTube never uploaded it. In fact, I'm curious now too, but I did check and I saw that it was uploaded. But yeah, I uploaded that on time, so I'm giving myself credit for that one. Um, but yeah, girl. It has been a very interesting week. It has been a very interesting time. Hold on. Basically, um, that dream that I had that I told y'all revealed to me that I was doing the same like self-abandoning behaviors and all that whoop whoop whoop. That dream really sparked a cascade of things that followed. It's really, it's just always background noise. Oh my God. Just hold on. Anyways, yeah, that dream has healed my relationships. I think I mentioned that already in the last vlog. And then in addition to that, I've been able to see a difference in my body so far. Like everything is still new, so I like to give stuff time before I'm like, this healed XYZ. But the root chakra is heavily associated with your legs and knees and feet or whatever. And the difference I felt in my knees since doing this chakra meditation and stuff has been insane. And I also have seen a difference in my arms. The thing is, right? The thing is what I've been doing since this realization, especially because the heart chakra was a big one, like a big was impacted either more or the most in this situation, right? And so, I feel like the changes in my arms have been gradual with that nerve stuff I told you about. And what I've been doing in my day-to-day life that I've been clocking is now I've been like, okay, I'm paying attention to my body and checking in. Like when it wants to leave, I'm going to, I almost had to sneeze. Because my heart and my throat chakra, these, these are the big players here. My throat chakra for speaking up for myself when it's like, no, I really do want to leave, or no, I really do want something or whatever, like being honest. And then my heart chakra in terms of like giving and receiving and stuff, which is really just in that same boat. So one thing I've clocked is that this behavior has manifested in so many different areas of my life so discreetly. And a big thing that I've clocked in terms of this whole like understanding, like that, truly understanding that root belief of like having to self-sacrifice to give love type of thing is where I noticed it was when I was at my aunt's house the other day, right? And she was under the weather, so I was there helping her, right? And I something that I healed a long time ago is being comfortable receiving. That was a whole thing for a minute there. Me building that comfort in myself to, is the mic okay? It's kind of not facing me. I usually put it on my necklace. Another reason I haven't been on here is because I've been fighting off what she had. Because I was like, I'm not trying to get strep, bro. So I am a little congested, but a bitch has been winning my body. I've been supporting it hardcore. We have been working as a team to stay healthy. But anyways, right. Something that I had to go through however long ago was building comfort with receiving, building comfort with saying yes. And I understand why, which I already understood, like why before I struggled with doing that, and a lot of people struggle with doing that because it's like people will offer things and whatever, and then it's like there's secretly strings attached or something or whatever, whatever. There's a whole bunch of reasons why people decline help and decline favors and decline things, right? But I'd already gone through that, worked on that. So I've been able to receive from people like, oh, do you want this or want that? And comfortable saying yes, even if it felt uncomfortable. Sometimes I would still do it. I'm just basically saying like, so there's that, right? That's already been worked on, right? But something I clocked when I was at my aunt's house, and I was there to help her because I love her so much, and she's been under the weather, and I'm, doing all this stuff around the house and stuff for her, right? And then she offered, because she was ordering herself food, and she offered to order me food. And she asked if I wanted anything. And this is where I caught the tension. I did want something. But at first, I just kind of snaked around the question because I didn't want to say no because I wasn't honest. But I didn't want to say yes. Why didn't I want to say? Mind you, she isn't my. All in my head, right? Why didn't I want to say yes? And then when I really processed it, especially afterwards, when I really, 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 really processed it. So I was like, we don't have an issue with saying yes with someone like, oh, do you want me to order this for you too? Yeah, sure, comfortable receiving. Like, so I was like, why is this moment different from the other moments when you're offered something from her, honestly, from her or anybody. She's offered to order me things multiple times. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like if I genuinely want it, right? Not just saying yes to say yes, but do you genuinely want it? So I'm like, so what is making this different? Because I thought we don't have a problem with that anymore. What made that different is because like I said before, I was there for her to help her with whatever and the baby and whatever because of her not feeling well, right? So then when she offered to buy me food, my brain, body, whatever, was processing that in a way that made it seem like that canceled out what I just did for her. And that I need to do even more. I need to sacrifice even more because it's coming and stemming from that root belief that an expression of love is self-sacrifice. And when I clocked that, I found that very interesting and I ended up getting the food too because I could feel also. It also makes complete sense why I had all this neck tension and how that's associated with the throat chakra because to me it's not a stretch. When I was in that moment, right, I could feel myself wanting to say yeah or whatever, and I could feel myself physically holding that. And had I not been bringing that awareness to this, I wouldn't have noticed that. And I'm like, how long and how many times have I done that? Of course that can manifest as neck tension. The very act of holding it in. You know what I mean? Because I've been like, I don't feel like I have all this serious neck tension, but my PT, when I would get massages and stuff, they're always like, oh my gosh, what's going on with your neck? I'm like, bitch, I don't know. And I always thought it was interesting because I'm like, I'm not stressed out, so why would I have neck tension? And I've firmly believed that the body, is an expression of what's going on internally. So I'm like, why does my body keep expressing neck tension if I don't carry tension in my day-to-day life? Now it makes sense. And the amount of times I'm clocking myself and I'm expressing, like I'm voicing myself now. I'm exercising it. It's uncomfortable, but I'm doing it, because that's the work. It's going to be uncomfortable. My body has to see that it is consistently safe to be honest and to, speak my truth. I don't know how I want to put that. But it's so fascinating now to see like just how many areas in life that this shows up. Like this shows up, because I wanted to give you more examples. Did I ever write any of them down? Whatever. I'm sure I'll talk about this again at some point and make some video on it or whatever. But just my point being, it's like all the times that I don't want to say something because I don't want to make someone else feel XYZ. That is self-abandonment, and whoop, 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 whoop. Anyway, so yeah, it's been really fascinating just working with that and seeing the difference already expressing in my life. And it's really freeing. All of this has been really freeing. Despite the fact that it could be uncomfortable in the moment, it has felt immensely freeing to just ask myself, do I want to smile at that person or no? You know, do I want to go over here or no? The same way I do it in every other area of my life. It's just relationally and stuff that was expressing differently. So there's that. And then I even got another dream recently where I definitely had a guide come to me in my dream. 100%. I don't know who, I don't know how I know them. I don't know nothing about nothing. But the eye contact was insane. The feel, and then when I thought about it, even after waking up, like thinking about it and visualizing like what I saw in my dream and that eye contact I had, I was like ready to like tear up. And I'm like, what? Like, and that tells me energy is moving. You know, when tears are moving like that tells me energy is moving. And they came into my dream in the form of an owl, but the body was actually that of a bat. That's a whole other thing. There's so much here. And the symbolism is insane. And it's what this has also showed me too, as I continue to dig deep into my dream interpretation, is I used to think like, why can't they just be straight up? Like, why can't stuff in dreams just be like clear? Like back when I was telling y'all about the spearmint tea dream, like, why can't you just show me the spearmint tea? Why you gotta show me this whole metaphor? But two things. One, period. I do think it's better for stuff to be metaphors. One, because if I had a dream where I was just like, they just showed me the spearmint tea and stuff, my conscious mind would have just like, yeah, I drink spearmint tea. And like, I either would have not remembered the dream or that would have been disregarded. But because they showed me this emotionally charged dream, like this scene that was like, that I woke up like, what the fuck was that? You know, one, I remembered it because I was like, what the fuck was that? So it was brought to my attention so that I could actually remember it. And then two, you know, my conscious mind didn't just write it off because it's like, what is this? You know, there's something here. But then I also want to bring to the point of how often when we're explaining things to each other or in videos or whatever, music and art, do we use imagery and metaphors and similes and these different ways to help explain things, and they actually tend to make things more clear to us when someone is able to be like, you know, think of like boo 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 boo, and they give you like a metaphor, they give you a simile, they give you imagery, they give you something to help your brain organize the information to help you understand something that they just said straight to you. Like you're in a conversation with someone, they can say the information straight to you, but then once they give you this metaphor or these other ways of processing information, your brain then receives it a little bit better. It's like, oh yeah, I get what you mean. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I am finding these dreams to be so powerful almost because they're in these metaphors and because of the imagery and stuff. Like I'm trying to think of something that I can share that I don't have to use like a F ton of context, because you know, you could talk about this shit forever and I'm trying to not do that. That has a lot of background too. I really do plan to make my dream interpretation videos, though. I actually want to do a workshop because of how I guess, but that's really personal too. I don't know if that would resonate. It's like in the dream that I told you about, I'll just do that. In the dream that I told you about with the whole it helped me heal my relationships and stuff. A big player in this dream was a person that I, in the past, had slept with twice when I didn't want to. And that was my fault, right? That was not them. They didn't like force me, but I didn't want to let them down, and the circumstances and whatever, right? I did that twice, two separate occasions. That matters a lot. That matters a lot. That's crazy. And This person was a key player in this dream. This was a 3-part dream, detailed as hell. They were in every single part. And they were very neutral in their facial expression. They didn't share any dialogue or anything, but they were constantly present, right? And what they symbolized in this dream was the pattern of not speaking up for myself, is the pattern of that. And what the dream, it wasn't about them. And that's why in this dream they expressed, so they were just like there, because it wasn't the fact that they in particularly did anything. It's the fact that there was a boundary consistently being crossed. And then, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff to get up back there, and then my body processed this as assault. And in the dream, in the part 3 of the dream, when we get to the conscious layer, when I'm in the out in the public and stuff, and I'm loudly shaming them to people, like, this person assaulted me. Mind you, in the dream, they did not assault me. But that is how I processed it. And that is how my body processed it in waking life. Back when I was in that situation, my body did process it as assault. My body did process it as trauma. I did have issues with men and being even touched or dancing with anybody. Like, it was actually not a light thing. My body did not take it lightly. And it did, but it's like, it was interesting back then, like, why is my body processing it this way when, like, I chose to, because I abandoned myself in that moment. And what makes this is why I just put it on my necklace, bro, because I be trying to put the mic on my shirt and then it don't be staying upright. What makes this so powerful, one, using that person as the imagery in the dream, it's so powerful because I have a very clear waking association with that person of, like, I don't have any animosity towards them at all because it wasn't their fault. But that, I know exactly what I associate that person with. So using them in the dream to represent the pattern was huge. And at first I was like, is this dream about them? Like, I was like, I thought I released that trauma. But no, the trauma didn't cause the pattern. The pattern caused the traumatic event. The traumatic event being me going with him when I didn't want to and stuff. Like, that's what it was about. You see what I mean? Like, the symbolism of that person. And like, there's a scene in the dream, for example, where we were out in public and they got up on these stairs and were just standing over me. They weren't doing anything. That's the only time in the dream that I got aggressive, that I got physical. I pulled them down and I threw them on the floor. And I told someone else they should throw him. I was so like, I can't believe this person is out here being able to do this after they assaulted me. Mind you, in the dream, they haven't said or done anything. The stairs represented escalation, and that I don't actually, nothing happens, I don't stand up for myself until it has escalated to the point where my body is taken over. And that's when I get aggressive. And you know what that represents in real life? That's when I get snappy. When I don't tell my friend that, love her, bless her heart, but I have a friend, when I don't tell her that I actually want her to leave because I love her so much and I don't want to hurt her feelings. And so I let her stay here, and I invite her to stay here. I say, no, please stay, even though inside I really don't want her to be here anymore, because she's doing this self-burdening behavior that is exhausting for my nervous system because of this co-regulation that she needs, and that I probably needed to some degree too. I don't even know how to put that at this point. But it is not until it keeps escalating that then I get snappy when she says some self-burdening stuff. I'm like, bro, like, now I have like an irritated reaction. Now it's getting aggressive. It's not aggressive in the literal sense, like in real life. I'm not actually putting hands on people. These are metaphors. Like, you get what I'm saying, you know? And there's a point where he turns into glass temporarily. Like, this lady threw him, he turned into this bottle, it shattered, and then went back to his regular form, showing that he is fragile. This can be broken. This pattern can be broken. Like, anyways, I could talk all day about this stuff, but like, my point being is just like, it's actually so incredibly valuable for this stuff to be for dreams to present in these metaphors. And like if you're trying to ask questions and stuff in dream interpretation, but if you're going to bed like, show me XYZ, and then when you wake up and they didn't show you exactly that, it's like, no, it's not. That's not how dreams work. Ask for concepts, ask for messages, ask for communication, not the literal thing in your waking life. You know what I mean? So anyways, the dream interpretation has been a big part of my life right now. Again, I mean, it kind of always has been, but right now it's really on the up. The chakra meditations have been crazy. Also, I'm going to make a video about the clitoris. The clitoris, the female body, insane. The clitoris is like an energy receiver. And then you move that energy up through your chakras. Like you gather it there. Because I started thinking about this because I'm like, the body tells us what it finds important. You can see where the body has decided like, this is an important area, this is important for receiving information or for reproduction or for safety or whatever, by where there's a large concentration of neurons. Neurons are expensive. Neurons and nerves are one of, if not the most expensive thing for the body to produce and maintain. And they take a long time to regenerate as well. So where you find large bundles and concentrations of neurons, like the brain, the genitalia, the fingertips, like in recent discoveries in these layers of fascia, why would the brain allocate so many neurons to fascia if it wasn't important? You know what I mean? And so I was thinking about that, and I'm like, the clitoris has more nerve endings than like any other part of the body, or almost any other part of the body, if I'm not mistaken. And think about how much more it has than like the penis and the males and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hold on. And then I was like, I think it's ironic that it's placed right at the base of our root chakra, where we're supposed to be connecting these energy centers and stuff. Like, isn't this just interesting? And so I decided to do this meditation where I gather the energy there so I could get a good amount of energy like bundled at once, but then move it upward. And so then I was like, okay, this energy now, I gathered it there, and I was like, okay, this energy now moves up to my root chakra. And then I could feel it. I swear to God, I could feel it. And I was like, whoa, I'm just observing, trying not to get too excited to anything because I don't want to fuck anything up. Because it's like, I understood chakras, I resonated with them, but I've never felt them so real like this before. This is my first time really like, oh, these are dead ass, real dead ass. Dead ass. Like, I knew they were real. I understood. I resonated. You know me, I'm big on my energy work, but this is the first time I was like, oh my God, there's like an elevator in the back of my spine. And so I'm just trying to be cool, and I moved it up to sacral. I moved it up to solar plexus. And I could feel it like, because I say it out loud. Y'all already know how I've been saying stuff out loud is powerful. It's a superpower. I was like, okay, and I'm moving it up. And then when I get to my crown and I feel the like it just connect down my spine, including the clitoris. I'm moving with intention. And I was just like, whoa. And then I was like, I gather this energy in my womb. A womb is powerful. A womb is not just for babies. I mean, that's obviously is. But it's like, how do we think the womb is able to even bring life into the baby? You know, at what point does the soul enter the baby? And how do you think that and what do you think it's capable? Like, I was really just like connecting dots, like, wait a second. This isn't just for that. Because I was like, I don't believe that the body would put so many nerve endings to the clitoris if it was just for pleasure. And the clitoris wraps all around the womb. I also think that's where there's a connection between pleasurable childbirth. But y'all ain't ready for that. I learned about, and I don't even know about it all for real. The female body is so understudied. Energy work is so understudied. Like, it's insane. So I've been really in that bag. And I've been asking my guides in my dream, like, okay, so then what's next for me? Because I didn't even tell y'all this. I had this call with this woman. I post about my business in this group thing that I told you about, where I was like, guys, I really won't have to go back to a 9 to 5 because I got this new opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I posted this group so I could connect with people in this space. I really need to blow my nose for real. So I can connect with people in this space, right? So I can start pushing into this space. So I can start getting clients and stuff. And someone books. They actually make it to my website and book on their own. I get on the phone with this lady. Long story short, because she's trying to learn more about my services to see how I can serve her clients. She ends up dropping all these all these gems, make stuff for me. She's like, can I make this for you? Like, can I, da 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 da? She cleans my shit right up. Mind you, the calls are for like potential clients to call and work with me and see if they were a good match. Like her being an organizer calling me, that's just like, that's already crazy. And then it was a phone call too. So there were so many times I was sitting there like, damn, this is insane. She's dropping gems and like cleaning my shit up so I could like get going. But something else that I gained from that call is the knowledge of like the industry and if this is really the space that I want to go and be in. Like there's the angle of that call was valuable because she cleaned up a lot of my stuff. Let me go blow my nose. So right, there's that part where it's like she helped me. I feel like, you know, she cleaned my shit up so I can like make it work. And she was like, she had clients to give me, which was like, damn, you know. She needs clients. I did follow up with her. She hasn't responded, but that's okay because of this other point of, I don't know if this is the right space for me, for my business. And so I'm like, okay. I've been talking to my guides and asking via dreams and stuff like, okay, I don't even know what to ask anymore, honestly. But anyways, I asked them like, okay, so if that's not the direction I'm supposed to go, and these are the directions that I'm supposed to go, then what direction am I supposed to go? You know, because I'm like, guys, a bitch needs clients. You know what I mean? Like, jokes aside, I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, literally, it's like shit needs to work out. And so, and they gave me this dream basically that's like, that's basically saying like, trust your intuition. It's something big. It's something exciting. It's not what you expect. It's not the path that's in front of you. It's something like to the left that's just going to be intuitive, and you just keep being authentic and keep working with your whole throat chakra stuff because this is new, right? So this is still a little messy. I'm getting better at it and I'm voicing myself or whatever, but it's still new. My body is still learning that it is safe to speak up in situations that it would normally be uncomfortable saying something, right? So, you know, I already know give that time, just like everything else that I've healed in myself, however you want to put that, right? But I'm like, okay, you know, I'm glad that's getting better, but like while we're working on that, what's the plan? What's the plan, guys? And I asked for this dream. Oh, that's why I brought that dream up, because I want to tell you what was crazy about that guide is not just the feeling, not just the emotion, but the fact that they looked at me and they were like, the lock code is 337. What the hell? Like I'm like in the dream, like I'm like locked in, and then I woke up like, what the, like I felt that. And of course I look up 337 and it has to do with bravery and stuff and whatever. And then in the same dream, they gave me like an abundant amount of symbolism of like trusting your intuition and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, guys, I am, but like, are y'all gonna pay the bills? Like, I don't get it. and it's crazy. It's crazy because it's just like, what the. So yeah, that's just been the space that I've been in, is explore. Ooh, I can give you one more symbolism really quick from the dream, and then we can move on from that. Was there's a part of my dream where that after the owl, basically the owl bat, and we're at a door which represents like thresholds and stuff, and I go to open the door because I want the owl to come inside because it ended up over there at some point and it disappeared, whatever. I go to open the door, and then suddenly in my home, because it took place in my home, there's me, my dad, and my brother. And then my grandma's dog, who's a female. She's a female dog. And then I go to open the door, and this dog is suddenly there, is trying to come in, not aggressively, like he's chilling. Everybody's chilling. But it's a male dog. And I know that's just implied. Like, I don't see that, but I know that that's a male dog. And my grandma's dog, like, it's her dog in real life, but in the dream, it's just the dog. She snarls and growls and stuff at that dog to leave. And I was like, oh, okay. Guess you're not going to come in here. And my dad and my brother were going to bring the dog in. And then I was like, and they were chilling too. And I was like, no. I said something along the lines of, no, like, you don't know how to follow instructions? Or like, don't you know how to listen? Like, no. And they was like, oh, okay. You know, and we put the dog out. And what they ended up representing after I did my digging is masculine and feminine energies. My dad and my brother represented masculine energy, and so did that male dog. And then there's me and my grandma's dog, were the feminine, the females there. And there's a couple ways that symbolism could be broken down, but it was like, you don't need more masculine energy coming in here. And like, my grandma's dog was kind of representing feminine energy and intuition of like, no more of that. But also, it could be interpreted as there's going to be other opportunities that keep coming in presented to you that follow this old masculine energy path. And this was also broken down more clearly in a different dream that I had, where I was asking some questions. I won't go into that because you already know I could yap about this shit all day. But it was like, no more masculine energies. You're doing enough. And I struggle with that in my waking life because, yes, you know, I can understand that, but I'm also like, I don't know. I'm not a hustle girly or anything, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm doing that, but I do be feeling like there's something else that I need to do. And they are like, no, it's not that. And it's not that. And when I say, like, it's not like don't do anything, but it's just, I feel like they've sent me that message in a lot of ways. And it's interesting because in my waking life, I feel like, but I'm not even doing that much for real. And that's why I be feeling like I need to do more. But I'm also someone that has come from, like, my history was doing the most and heavily masculine energy and heavily hustle and heavily whatever. So maybe me now feeling like I'm not even doing that much is still a lot. But it's, you know, I don't know. But I just wanted to share that symbolism of, like, it's not necessarily always about the person, and it's usually not about the person. It wasn't about my brother and my dad. They were just there to represent masculine energies, and that, especially them being in the dreams, because they don't really be in my dreams for real like that. So that was like, you know, whatever. But yeah, so heavily in the dream interpretation bag, been reading this book, heavily in the chakra meditations. My body's fucking healing. The skin's been doing great. This has been going down too because I had this inflammation mark you can kind of see, but this is all gone. Like, the skin texture, I know because, you know, this camera will be violating me per usual, but the skin texture is honestly great. The skin has been doing great. And I just been using that moisturizer that I told you I was getting. I've been using my old moisturizer with the Peach Slices moisturizer. And Also, just exercising the throat chakra, because the skin stuff on the face also connects to the throat chakra. Because I mean, like, look what's right there, you know. And I think it's been just really fun watching my physical body heal from these internal changes, and as I get more comfortable and as my body learns that it is safe in these spaces and stuff, you know, everything really does connect. Everything really does connect. Outside of that, girl, the relationship with my mom has been great in my family. Just everything, you know, and I really do believe something is coming, especially just with all of this has me feeling really grounded and trusting, despite the fact that shit is technically getting very close. I don't know. I don't really know if or what I feel, because I'm just like, well, something's got to happen in my favor. Like, something, I'm not going to be left in the dust. I can't be left to dry. I've had so many synchronicities. And I also know that chakras are real. So if chakras are real, that means this energy work has to be real. If this energy work has to be real, that means all these beliefs and all this stuff that I've been unpacking about quantum physics and spirituality and stuff, that means all that has to be real. And the nervous system and stuff. So if all of that is real, that means I'm still on track. That means I'm still doing the right thing. Which means something's going to work out in my favor. So there's that. And so when I look at the physical reality in front of my eyes, even, and also, mind you, sight being the sense that I feel like you can trust the least, I think sight is phenomenal at keeping us safe from physical dangers and stuff. I think the evolution of sight and being and the way it expresses in humans, because that's another thing that I think about. I know this might be a tangent, but that's another thing that I think about, right? It's like the world looks this way to us because this is the way our eyeballs are shaped and set up. But then there's birds and reptiles and other organisms where, and like even other mammals, like the fucking antelope and stuff, where their eyes are shaped differently, so it receives light differently. So the earth literally looks like reptiles are seeing infrared. They're animals, it's like the horizon's like curving. Like the world is literally physically bending and curving and shaping in a different way. So then it makes me question, like, it's like, if what we see is only what we see because of the set of eyes we were given, but if we were given a different set of eyes, then we would see stuff distorted in a way. What's the real shape? When really the question is, what's the real vibration? You know? But anyways, I'm like, okay, when I look at my physical stuff in front of my physical eyes, stuff can be concerning. But when I look with my mind's eye, you can say my third eye, which was a big part of the dream 2 nights ago, heavy symbolism there. When I look with that and my intuition, everything seems aligned and on course and on track. So I guess that's the duality I'm experiencing. That's the vlog update is like my intuition and my dreams and my internal beliefs and my internal understanding and my internal senses, which are technically significantly more reliable and have been evolving much longer than sight, much longer. Sensing, we were sensing organisms before we ever gained something like modern day eyesight. Like even the back when we weren't even multicellular for real, or back when like we're part of a much bigger picture here. Sensing came first. Scent, much more reliable. And think of how scent associates with memory and stuff. Like these other senses are technically so much more reliable. And so that's what I like to lean into. But it's also like sight keeps me safe, but so does that. So I don't know, girl. Lots happening. But I still feel really good. I feel more grounded than ever, especially after that dream that I already referenced a gajillion times. Also, after breaking all this down and seeing how impacted my heart chakra was, not a surprise that the bowl that I resonated with the most and that I was like, oh, I want to take this home is at the heart chakra frequency. Oh, the thing's not on the bottom anymore. But it's like, of course, because that was the one that was like, needing the most support in my body. And also on this journey, think about how much trees have been a part of my journey. And like my tree friends. I don't know. It's interesting. So I plan to vlog next week while I'm on my vacation in Sedona. I'm going on this tour that's going to take us to all these spiritual landmarks and all these landmarks in general and the energy vortexes and stuff. So I'm really excited, especially after all that's been going on. Really, really excited. So I will. My God, it's just, sorry, my freaking nose stuff. I'll post about that, or I'll vlog about that. And yeah, girl, we're still in it. I hope you're doing well. Keep going. Just keep going and trusting your inner guidance and stuff. And I believe that stuff will really work out. Hey. So I have been adjusting to something really incredible that has happened. And today I had my not gathering. I was speaking at that like retreat thing. So that's why my makeup is on. And anyways, I was gonna just put the TikTok in here, but this video is already long because like the first video I made in here, like I talked a lot in it, and so the background noise shouldn't be too bad. I don't plan on being on this one long for real, but I noticed something while I was on one of my walks. I'll post the video on here for show. I made it as a TikTok. I haven't posted to TikTok yet. I'll probably post it to here like separately, I guess. And then eventually I'll post it on TikTok, but bish, my knees my body, not even just my knees, my body has essentially healed overnight. And it's actually like really unbelievable. Like it's believable because I believed in the whole like, heal your mind, heal your body, and this. Like I believe in this stuff, obviously, but like I guess I expected like maybe some minor improvements, but my knees I thought were already at the best they were gonna be. So I've had time to come down and calm down from the initial reaction. But maybe I'll do an overlay here of just like the video I took when I was outside because I basically, long story short, I had stepped up onto a curb and I was just like I noticed a difference. But you know, it could be a fluke. I have good days. I have days that are better than others. Whatever. But long story short, these knees feel 10 years younger. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm not. I wish I was playing, but this is still new, you know. So I'm gonna give this time to see like how this really plays out over time. Last time, you know what? Where's my phone? It's not in here. Oh, my calendar's right here though. Damn, I didn't put it in my notes like I thought I did. Last time I healed my knee, I had a significant jump. I do believe it coincided with a belief change at that time, but it also coincided with a very physical change of engaging my outer toes. And that's when I felt like that was it. Like that was the best for my knees. That was the best it's gonna get. And ever since then, I have not really had any issues. I still feel like I can still feel them and stuff, but like if I kept clean alignment, like if I was just really good with form and stuff, then like I was cool. I can't wait to go to the fucking gym. I can't wait to go to the gym now and see. I just want to see. I just want to see. Anyways, yeah, I thought like, okay, those are my new knees back in September. That's what I just saw, September, when I like started doing that. I got the idea from my baby cousin. I think I told y'all about that. I think I was vlogging at that time. Anyways, no. No. On my best day, my knees don't feel like this. This is different. Very different. It's like I feel so much circulation in them. It's like there's like a buoyancy in them. Like when I step, it's not just like I don't know how to describe it other than saying they feel 10 years younger. My knees haven't felt like this since I was in my shit. I don't even know if I was in my 20s. Swear to God, I feel like, was this pre-college? What was going on with my knees in college? Because I feel like this ain't really start for real till mid-20s, I think. I could be wrong. No, because I felt them back at the club. So I was in my 20s. That was still post-college, though. Bitch, I don't know. All I know is that this is crazy. And I do associate it with the root chakra work. And the root chakra, especially since during the root chakra, it's not a root chakra meditation, during the chakra meditations, I feel the areas like when I say feel, I really want you to understand that I'm not just like, I feel like, I really want you to understand that I feel it the same way I feel this couch right now that I'm sitting on. In the same way I feel this pillow. You see how I'm feeling? You see how I'm physically feeling this pillow? That's how I feel this energy moving when I'm doing this chakra work, especially when I gather the energy first and then move it up to my root chakra, like I told y'all in this video, I think. And when I do that, when I really get the root one lighting up for real, I feel the energy also pulsating and circulating through my legs the same way as when I get to the heart. Like, so I work up root and then I go sacral and then that's solar plexus. And then when I get to the heart, I feel like just like a flushing and like a significant increase in circulation in my arms. I swear to God. And the root chakra is not just associated with the legs, it's associated with the bones. Guys, my shoulder. And that also is associated with the heart chakra too. Like, those are my two players. Those are my big players. I had some sacral work, kind of bounce, but really my big players were the root and the heart, according to the beliefs, like the beliefs that coincide, the limiting beliefs or the whatever beliefs that I had coincided with heart work and root work. And this part too. Here's the thing too, another thing that I found real fascinating about this shit. Not only does my shoulder feel like, that's crazy, like, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's not that I be having chronic pain. It's not like that. But I know I know the fragility that I have been feeling in my body for a long time, for a very, very long time. And I just been working with it and doing my thing and feeling strong still, even within this. Like still doing my handstands. Now I'm going to go back to volleyball. When I get back from my vacation, best believe I'm going to book me some time on the court. I want to see. I want to see how my knees do. I want to see how my shoulder does. These are brand new joints and ligaments and tendons. This is insane. This is insane. And it's one thing, like I said, like I believed it, and I just didn't expect this. And the part of my body, so mind you, pins and needles is done. All of a sudden, remember I told you about that stuff in my arm? That shit's just all of a sudden wrapped the fuck up. But then the one part that was still giving me, which I don't know if it still is. I guess I would be able to tell. Let me do some computer. Even usually just doing this. But yeah, I can still feel it. The one part that did not just change overnight like everything else is my wrist. Mind you, the wrist stuff usually coincided with sensations in the elbow and sensations in my hand, and they're triggered by typing. That's why I can just do it in the air, and I can feel the wrist start to heat up or whatever. It really don't take much. And I looked up, what's the wrist associated with, because that's interesting that the rest of this was all, as far as we knew, all this shit was connected. All of this was connected. So what do you mean all of a sudden I don't have any issues with nerve, pins and needles, and no issues with the circulation, and no issues with that fragility right here, and no issues with the elbow, and no issues with the hand, but the wrist be getting hot? Cannot wait to move. I say it all the time. Cannot wait to move. Cannot wait. But so yeah, I look up. I'm like, and it's like the whatever runs through and the chakras in the wrist, and whatever. It has to do with like the pericardium, which is the outer part layer of the heart that protects the heart or whatever. Whatever. It's associated with, and the wrist is associated with the specifically the giving and receiving and the resistance to that and the fluidity of, because that's the part of your hand that controls you're going this way, like palm up or palm down. And basically, long story short, I was like, oh, okay, so all the stuff that I'm actually still working on. Because, see, the root chakra stuff, once I realized that, I was able to release that. And this other stuff, I was able to release that. But the wrist stuff, technically, what it's apparently associated with is technically the newer, what I'm actively working on, when I'm out and about and stuff. And that tension between saying XYZ or not saying XYZ, and doing XYZ and not doing XYZ. I'm pausing before I speak more, and I'm pausing before stuff more, right? But there is a tension in that pause. But I'm pausing to assess, what do I really feel? What do I really believe? What's really my truth? And proceed forward instead of just going with my same old habits. I'm pausing like, hey, Tot, is that something that you want to do? And figuring out, like, should I give this? Like, like I'm in the process of putting myself in those uncomfortable situations and allowing myself to sit in that and decide, And so, of course, like, it's like the stiffness and tension that I feel in person as I'm working through it is essentially manifesting as stiffness in my wrist. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm open. I'm like, shit, I can believe it at this point. Releasing the stubbornness and this side of the third from my body and my root chakra and my beliefs and stuff because that's the needs are associated. That needs are associated with flexibility and this, that, or the third, and releasing that stubbornness or whatever, wah 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 that I have going on. I have. I wish. It's my brain is still like adjusting to like, is this real? Because it's actually insane. And it's unfucking believable. And it makes me question even more what's next for me. What is next in my path? Because I'm like, I really don't know what's happening from here. I really don't. Like, yes, I have my business set up. Yes, I have some things set up, but I'm also just like, this doesn't feel this part doesn't feel as aligned. This part still kind of feels aligned. This part, and then I got them in my dreams talking about, it's a surprise. You don't know what it is for real. Just trust your intuition. Just keep going. You don't even know. And I'm just like, be so fucking for real. But I'm like, who am I to doubt that dream? Especially, who am I to doubt communication in my dream where this fucking guide literally comes in and is like, the code is 337. And then I look that shit up and that has to do with bravery and self-trust and staying the course. Like, and it's like, so they gave me communication in my other dream that has essentially led to me healing my body, because it was the communication from that dream that allowed me to decode and figure out what beliefs and stuff to release so that these changes can happen internally. So then these changes happen physically. So if that dream ate and no misses, and the dream before that, talking about the healing my skin and stuff, my skin's been doing fantastic. If that was true, and that was true, and we're not even considering or talking about dreams that I had before, what led me to actually quitting my job in the first place. We're not even talking about those. If this dream was accurate as fuck, and this dream was accurate as fuck, then who am I to doubt the dream that's telling me, we got something for you? You're not going to be able to guess it. It's a surprise. And everything else that they've done, like even this chair, this man, like let's really not forget how much I'm looking at that was manifested. The chair's manifested. The rug's manifested. The couch is manifested. That doorway thing is manifested. What else in this hoe? This table's manifested. Free, heavily discounted. What? Like, and so, and you know, like I don't really, I say that I teeter. I'm not really teetering for real. I guess I'm just kind of like, it's odd. I guess it's an odd position to be in, of just like trusting things are going to work out. Seeing your physical body suddenly heal before your eyes and your knees develop a brand new level of buoyancy that you thought you didn't even have access to anymore, that you thought you aged out of. But hey, like I said, it's new. Let's see how these knees feel tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. If you get the reference. But let's see how let's see how my body continues to form. You know, this is still new. You don't get too attached or too excited, but I'm just like, am I bugging? Or is shit really about to pop up? But I'm just like, I really have no fucking clue. That's the one thing. So then I still here in the practical world have to I'm still kind of like, okay, I'm going to go on my vacation, but when I come back, I got to get down to business. We really will need to figure something out. So then it's like, okay, but then in the dream, they're like, don't be doing that hustle shit. You don't have to live like that anymore. And they've given me a shit ton of examples in these dreams and in waking life, to be really fucking honest. And then my brain is also just like, if these chakras are real, and they are, because I feel them viscerally in my body, which is crazy. Honestly, the stuff that I be feeling now is crazy. The fact that, like, I wasn't even tripping on sound bowls and shit before. I thought that was cool, and I was open, and I could see them being beneficial. But it's like, as my energetic capacity or my electromagnetic field has whatever expanded throughout this journey, along with that always comes an increase of sensory information. That's how we got to getting the bowl. That's how we got to fucking with some of these crystals, and that's how we got to this ring, and that's how we got to some of this stuff. Like, it wasn't like I'm trying to just jump into the woo woo whatever. It was just like suddenly, along with these other, they're like upgrades. It's like I called them before, avatar upgrades. It's like the stuff that I be feeling when I'm interacting with people, when I'm outdoors, when I'm with the tree. That's what I wanted to tell you about. The fucking fig tree. The one I already told you about that I be resonating with so hard or whatever. I'm sitting with this. I went to the tree yesterday because, I wanted to. I went to the tree yesterday and I'm sitting there. As soon as I walk up to it, I feel the energy move that I be feeling with this tree. I swear to God. And I'm with this tree, and then I get in a flow state, and I end up talking and rehearsing stuff for today or whatever. And then I went to walk away, and then I stopped. And I turned around. I'm like, wait a second. This is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. I feel like that's what it is right there. Is that tree be bringing out the best in me? When I stand next to that tree, the thoughts that be coming and the flow that be coming and the resonance that be happening, it's just like that. And it's different. Like I told you, I get the different feelings with the different trees. It's not all the same. I don't care if I sound crazy at this point. I have brand new knees. That's my new thing right now. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I have brand new fucking knees. As long as these knees feel like this, I feel like that, if anything has given me even more solid belief, it's the feeling of those chakras, right? Because if that's real, then this must be real. If this must be real, that must be real. That must be real. That must be real, right? Feeling those chakras viscerally. But the healing of my body is crazy. Healing my physical body is crazy. Overnight is crazy, right? And I'm so curious to see, like, when this clears, when the wrist stuff is solid, I bet you that's going to coincide with when in my regular life that's finally solid. That pattern is finally broken. I finally feel comfortable in that. And it's just, I just feel like I'm in a really interesting spot. I feel like I'm in a really interesting space. All my focus and attention is on what's the surprise going to be? How is this going to work out? I feel like I've been watching a movie this whole time. This journey has been feeling like I've been watching a movie, like low-key, high-key. Like I'm in it. I've been in it. I've been experiencing it. I've been feeling the emotions, but I've also been watching the whole time. Like, I wonder how this is going to play out. I wonder how this is going to play out for real. I wonder what's going to happen. Sorry, I got something in my eye. But I don't know how to describe it other than it just feels like I've been watching a movie this whole time. And something is happening. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on my vacation. I'm going to have fun. And it's real spiritual. And of course, I got all this spiritual stuff coming up. But because it's like they take you to like energy vortexes and stuff. I'm going to go on my vacation. I'm going to come back and I'm going to figure out what my next move is, if it has not already been presented to me. And, or if I haven't gotten any signs. And I'm going to just trust that they go surprise me like they do all the time. They really do need to do a big one. It's so funny how I'm like, I started later in the week. This might be the only video, and this shit's still probably an hour. But, yeah, I'm gonna end this one here. I'm going to take the camera with me when I go to Arizona. And yeah, I'll see ya. Oh, what we gonna drop? Drop a leg emoji. That, because if there's a knee emoji, drop a knee emoji. But if there's no knee, and if you made it this far in the video, drop the leg emoji. Drop the bones and or the leg emojis because bitch, we have a whole new skeletal system right now.